cycles next week, and then we'll be starting no-gi start of July. Let's give you another option from this Underhook De La Riva system. We were playing Lapel De La Riva and then getting into the Lapeloplata position. So we know from our position, when we were playing De La Riva, we switched to Underhook De La Riva, and then we opened up the lapel and passed the lapel from my right hand to my left hand. This controls your opponent's posture even more, okay? And then we looked at making this cross grip. And then I took out my De La Riva hook, but it's inside the lapel. And then I just threaded it through to the hip. And then we looked at inside knee position, and we looked at, we can attack the Lapeloplata, we can attack the Lapeloplata sweep from this position. Another thing we can do is a reverse lasso sweep. But it needs me to get a bend in Crippy's right arm. So whether he's made the grip and I push his arm up to get a slight bend in it, my free right leg is going to come over the top and enter at the armpit, and I thread it through. Okay. The other thing is I want inside knee position, just as in the Lapeloplata sweep. And now I'm just going to move my hips under Crippy. He has no base over his right shoulder. So now I can launch. Again, I'll keep the lapel because, you know, usual story, the minute you sweep someone, it's after you sweep them, they're just going to try and come up again. So we'll weather the storm just with these two grips. Ready to come up, bro? And then when the moment's right, I'm going to let go of this. Okay, I'm going to pull on the arm, and as I bring my foot underneath his head, that's the first thing I do. If I've nothing over his head, he's going to sit up. As he sits up, I'll bring him down with the other leg. So option one from here is the arm bar. But it's not a great Jujikatami position. If I have the foot here, Crippy can't escape his hip, which means he can't work the elbow to the mat escape, which means I'm in. But if I have this, he can move his hip this way and pull his elbow back. Does that make sense? But the second he does this on the mat, gosh, we just whack in the dirt. The dirty, you all use dirty wrist lockers out there. It's there. It would be rude not to take it. I've lost the elbow, but we can attack the wrist lock. Let's take a look at that again. So, from De La Riva, maybe I have the cross grip or the collar grip, then we switch to Underhook De La Riva. So the majority of the system just was from here on the front space, then we looked at the back space. Now we're going to take advantage of the lapel De La Riva. So I just pass the lapel from my right hand to my left hand. If I've got knee issues and I'm struggling with my hook, I can still play it without the hook. Just the lapel keeps his posture broken. So now we're going to take advantage of getting this cross grip. Okay. So once we're here, like the Lapeloplata position, I'm going to bring my foot to the inside. Okay. I want a slight bend in this arm, so if I can make an arc with my hand to get a bend in it, it's going to be a lot easier for me to put in this reverse lasso. So as I bring it under, I want it under the armpit. Notice the way my hips aren't under Crippy, so just a movement under him brings him over. Keep that initial grip, and then when the moment's right, I'm going to let go of this, two hands on the sleeve, and basically pull his arm towards me as I get my foot underneath his head. That's the first control I want. More than likely he's going to be sitting up, and I'll bring him down with that grip. Option one from here, let's get this way, is just if I have control of the elbow line and it's above my hips, we have the arm bar. But if he moves his hip and pulls his elbow to the mat, we just keep it in place. Bosh, wrist lock. Let's get another angle on that. So when we were playing lasso guard from here, it's difficult to get the lasso in with his arms straight. If his arm's bent, that's easy to get. Yeah, but if it's straight, we'd probably go for a shallow lasso and then use some kind of distance management to now thread it through. So if it's straight, you might have to use your heel to dig in with that. So from De La Riva, we're here. I switch to Underhook De La Riva, pass the lapel to Lapel De La Riva. Okay? Make that cross grip, and then take out my De La Riva hook out and get into that Lapeloplata position. So my foot's just straight past his hip and I'm inside knee position. So if I can get a bend in it, that's cool. If it's straight, we can hip out and kind of just chop in our heel and now force that to get a bend in that arm. Okay? Now it's really all about moving my hips under his. He has no base over his right shoulder. And I'm also going to be using my leg inside the lapel just to develop a little bit of momentum to spring him over here. And again from there, I'm holding on to that for the first few seconds in case he just tries to escape from there. The minute I let go of this, that hand finds this and I'm pulling his elbow over my hips. First foot that comes in is behind the head. That's everything. So I have some kind of connection with him. I don't want to try and armbar someone with my legs floating. His reaction will be to sit up and I can bring him down with that. So option one, if I have control of the elbow line, we just have the armbar. If you're going for the wrist lock and you feel he's going to pull his elbow to the mat, we don't want to take it from this back flat on our mat because now the mat's not occupying the space. Even if Crippy gets his elbow back, from there, if you've noticed, the mat isn't under his elbow. Alright, so if I'm in the armbar position and I feel him starting to initiate the elbow pull, I want to be in a seated position. So when he pulls his elbow back, it hits the mat, and then I hit the wrist. Just one more time on that, bro. Focus though on just getting your hips under his for the reverse lasso sweep. So we're going to start off with a collar grip on just a normal De La Riva hook. Then we switch to underhook De La Riva, and then we open up the lapel and pass it from our right hand to our left hand. Then we're going to snag the cross grip, take my De La Riva hook out and drape it past his hip and get inside knee position. So whether I get a bend in his arm just by circling my wrist, or I might have to dig in the reverse lasso, once I get it under the armpit, I need to bring my hips under his. Okay, and now I can just launch him over. Once I have that, weather the storm just with that grip. And for him to move, he most likely needs 2 feet on the mat. He can only really shrimp away with his left foot on the mat, but he can't pull that elbow back because I have that control. But now when I let go, he can put 2 feet on the mat, so now that becomes a double grip. And I'm just pulling that arm towards me and feeding my foot underneath his head. He will want to come up, so I can bring him down from there. And once I bring him down, I'm anticipating he's going to move his hip that road. And the second he does and pulls his elbow back, whoosh, wrist.